Hello and welcome to another daily market reading. I'm on Bitcoin, I'm on the 8-hour time frame, and it's time to do some analysis. What can we see? First off, we have had a really quiet week. It's been quite boring so far, and I'm actually going to go on the 4-hour time frame, and I'm going to turn on our smart oscillator or relative strength index to make it even easier to read. So the RSI has been getting a massive pump up. The price has been staying in this sideways channel, has not moved. We have been able to trade it on the 15-minute time frame and on the 1-hour time frame, not much more than that. Okay, well now it looks like we're starting to get a bit of a move down because we are overbought. Okay, so we could in theory go test out the bottom side of this channel. There's not much more to say, which is quite sad. Like I said, there's a very big lack of volatility. One thing worth noting, okay, is the price of an asset has two ways of correcting. Okay, can make a correction in price, where the price goes to hit a golden pocket level, a 0.5 level, 0.618, or it can do a correction in time, like it is currently doing. So am I gonna try play wizard and guess if the price is going up now or if the price is going down? No. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna wait for it at specific points and then go long on those specific points, or short on those specific points. Okay, so right now, another thing worth noting, on the 8-hour time frame, we had fairly large money flow. Okay, the 8-hour time frame as well, the oscillator was going up and the price has not really changed, still sideways thing, which means that is not a really bullish sign for Bitcoin. And another thing, like I just mentioned, we had quite big money flow. Money flow means the amount of money that is flowing out or in of an asset. Okay, for example, last time we had big money flow, we didn't get much of a move, and the price actually carried on pumping up. Okay, which is what I'm expecting here. We had a bit of a move up, but I do think there is still a bit more room left for the price to go. Okay, simply because the money flow is telling me to be careful. Okay, if I go down 4-hourly time frame, very similar thing. We have prolonged large money flow. Exactly the same concept here. I've gone over this in my tutorials and in the course that I'm currently publishing, in which I go in full depth of everything that I know about trading. And money flow is one of those concepts. If we've got big money flow like we have got here, or long money flow, it doesn't need to be very big tall. As long as it's long, it means that the move potentially has not finished yet. This is small money flow, this is small money flow, this is small money flow, this is small, this is big, and this is long money flow. Okay, and no, do not have a dirty mind, we are talking about money flow. Okay, so I'm not looking the most bullish. Also, I'm just seeing on the 4-hour time frame, looks like we're overbought. We could get a move back down. Okay, then I'm now going to turn on our indicators as well, which you can also have access to for free. I'm going to turn on the signals and all the blocks, and we can see something quite important. Okay, which is going to be below this recent low. Okay, we've obviously got a little bit of liquidity created, and we have got two order blocks sitting there very nicely. What does that mean? It means that we could get a move down and then potentially get a reaction. Okay, we would have to look as the price develops, see what actually happens, but this could potentially be a good place for us to look for a long position. Okay, another reason that's making me think this is if I zoom out, I'm going to now trace a fixed range volume profile from this whole entire thing, and look, just by magic we have got the value area high sitting exactly on this order block. Okay, another thing, we have got a bit of a higher volume node. It's not a massive one like this one, true, but it's the second closest, and it is going to be on this second order block, okay, which is just basically showing how these two order blocks seem like they have got quite high importance, quite high relevance, okay. These 2 points are likely where I'm going to be looking for a long position. What's next as well? There's another thing that is making me be a bit more careful on the daily time frame. We have got, well, we are currently inside a fair value gap, which you can see right there. I don't know why I'm tracing it. I have got really nice indicators which are going to tell me. I'm going to take these off, and I'm going to take these off. Okay, this green rectangle that you can see is a daily fair value gap. What does that mean? That a fair value gap in theory should get a nice reaction, nice clean move. Did we get that? No. What are we getting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days inside a fair value gap. That is not really what I want to see. What do I want it to see? A quick reaction in and out. Are we getting that? No. So that's another sign for me showing that potentially we could be getting a bit more of a move down at around this area. 74,500 and 75,000 are two areas that I'm going to be looking that are quite interesting. If those are lost, okay, if those areas are lost, what is going to be my next target? Well, my next target is simply going to be whole impulsive phase, this really extended phase, Tracy Fibonacci. It's going to be the 0.618 level or the 0.5. I would say probably the 0.5, okay, because it's not going to be so far down. 73,000 is going to be my next target, okay, but that is a little bit far from where we currently are. Bitcoin would have to drop 5% more. I mean, I'm not saying this is not possible. I mean, at some point, yeah, we are, and we're actually going to blow it all up and go straight down. But maybe I don't really think we're going to do this in the short term. I think it's more likely we go around here, get the move back up, and then get a bigger move down. From there, potentially look for another long position. Okay, so this is going to be my second area, but we will cover that when the time comes. Let's move back into the 2-hour time frame, because I want to look at something. Where is going to be an area where I'm going to be looking for a short position? I'm going to show you. I'm going to trace a Fibonacci retracement from this whole impulsive phase down. We can see the 0.5 level is sitting right on top of this previous range that we created during the weekend, in which we've obviously got a little bit of liquidity. We've also got a 2-hour order block. We've also got a 2-hour fair value gap, and hold on, we have got a CME futures gap. CME futures gap, which ends at 79,200 and starts at 78,300. What does this look like on our chart? This looks like 79,200, which is around there. Okay, I'm going to trace it. 79,200 down to 78,300, which is something like this. Okay, so the CME futures gap is covering this whole sort of area. Okay, this whole area in which we have got 0.5 level, the 2-hour gap, the smart trend, which is purple, which is basically telling us if we get a contact to it, we need to look for a short position. Okay, the best thing about the smart trend is that I don't need to think whether I'm looking for longs or shorts. It's just telling me I need to look for shorts. Any pullbacks that I get are going to be for short positions. Okay, another thing also worth noting, this is not just a random level. Okay, this CME futures gap is also very conveniently placed. Resistance, 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 broke it, support, support. Okay, so these pivot points I do apologize, it is looking a little bit messy, but please bear with me. We have got these previous pivot points, okay, which are ending exactly around the end of this CME futures gap. So this whole area looks like it has got a lot of stuff going on. So 79,500 is going to be a place for me to look for a short position. Okay, any pullbacks that I get are going to be places for me to go short. Okay, now let's move on to Ethereum really quickly. I don't want to spend too much time. Ethereum's is looking like a little bit more bullish. Okay, we've got trace of Fibonacci from this whole impulsive phase up. We're currently inside the 0.618 level. Okay, we're in the golden pocket. We haven't closed any daily candles outside it, which is quite a bullish thing. We have got a little bit of money flow on the daily time frame. That's the key word, on the daily time frame, and we are oversold, which means in theory we could get a push up until we're around this area. As we move down, I'll show you. Okay, so am I looking for a long position now? No. Why? Because Ethereum's going to be doing what Bitcoin is doing. I cannot guess where Bitcoin is going, so I'm not going to try guess what Ethereum is doing. If Bitcoin goes down, if Ethereum is not going to go up, it's going to go down, believe it or not. Okay, so I'm going to wait. If we go up with Bitcoin, fine, I know where I'm going to be looking for a short. If we go down with Bitcoin, I know where I'm going to be looking for a long. Okay, so where am I looking for a short with Ethereum? Let's go on the 4-hourly time frame. And I'm going to show you, this is what I had traced out. This was a really good proxy and I'm really proud of it, because when Bitcoin was around 80,000, okay, I was analyzing this channel. Ethereum struggled to break this resistance, broke it. We had a little fake out, cool. Support, broke it, and we haven't had a retest ever since. So what's my point of view? I think we could get a retest if Bitcoin goes back up. Okay, it is also conveniently placed on the 0.5 level of this whole impulsive phase down, 0.5 and the 0.618 level. Okay, so it is also where we have the 4-hour smart trend, which is purple. Once again, purple means we need to look for short positions. I think we have seen the top for Bitcoin and for Ethereum, and it is time for us to start moving down. Okay, so any pullbacks that we get are going to be good places for us to look for a short. Okay, that's my mindset. At least that's where I'm going to be putting my own money. Next, let's go on Ethereum exclamation mark, which is the Ethereum futures on the CME market. We've got a gap that we created between 2,220 and 2,187. Very similar reading, very similar thing. 2020, which is around there. So it would be landing on the 0.5 level. Okay, so that's why it would kind of make sense for the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum to get a bit of a move up, potentially clear that gap, hit this 4-hour gap, as well as this previous support, which is now a resistance, get a nice retest, hit some lovely golden Fibonacci levels, and then get a nice move down. Okay, that's my point of view. That's what I think is going to be happening. That's my reading for the market. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for another daily market reading.